DJ Mule is a Breadtube video essayist, a live streamer, and one host of the Red Planet podcast. And I believe him to be one of the most unintentionally funny creators on this platform. So I thought it would be nice to have a look through his content, showcasing some of the high and low points of his career. And for an introduction to DJ Mule, let's look at his first video. What does subscribe to PewDiePie mean?
I'm close to leveling up and securing the existence of our people and God damn it, no!
People are getting up in arms about PewDiePie's shifting content, but don't fear, this is the guy that's going to come and sort it all out.
This is a man who's had to apologize for using the N-word. If we look into that a little bit, what kind of person would use the N-word?
Okay, N-word discussion. DJ Mule coming in with the big topics.
If it's something that this person says quite frequently, it probably gives you the idea. You could probably put two and two together there, that they don't really care about the struggle of the black man, right?
the little raised eyebrow. But it's not just DJ Mule that's going to fix the internet. These guys are going to help him.
If you haven't watched people like H-Bomber Guy, Sean, Philosophy Tube, ContraPoints, there are many more and I'll link them in the description below.
It's a bit sad seeing him shout these people out because you can really tell he wants to rise up to their ranks and be friends with these types of people. But unfortunately, he gets relegated to Sophie from Mars and Bad Bunny. And I don't know what he did to deserve that punishment. There is a silver lining though. Maybe he dodged a bullet with Philosophy Tube.
And I'm not doing the generic thing. I'm not calling out PewDiePie, and what I'm doing with this video is I'm calling out PewDiePie.
Yeah, see, this video is awfully thought out. But, you know, it's his first time, okay, guys? It's only going to get better from here. And now we've got his shortly lived series, Convos with Comrades, with guests Sophie from Mars, Thought Slime, and Professor Flowers. If that lineup doesn't put a little twinkle in your step, I don't know what will. We're going to start with the Sophie from Mars episode, and they're reviewing fascist memes.
We've decoded everything going on in this meme.
And also that, you know, you've got the standard aphobia there as well. Day-to-day fleshlight delivery.
Right,
insinuating that never getting laid is bad and, you know,
absolutely,
that kind of thing.
You know what we're going to gather from that, and it is not nice to hear. Later on, they also bring up the fascist demonized beating off. This picture they're painting of themselves, a lack of physical contact, lonely in their communist goon cave, is flat out depressing. Come on, DJ Mule. Maybe Sophie from Mars knows a polycule that you can join.
Yeah, you were talking about...
I think at some point we should mention that we're a polycule triad.
Yeah, we are that as well.
Not
I'm
everyone.
shocked it wasn't apparent already.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we are.
Based, though. Extremely based.
Very.
Hell yeah.
Look at this face. The thought of 3 beautiful women. Mule can barely even imagine it. Let's move on from that, though. Mule's got something to say that you might not be too surprised by.
Maybe I've just smoked a lot of weed and had too much time on my hands, which is probably the right answer.
Dude, put the bong down. That is not going to help your life. And literally right afterwards, Sophie from Mars says that most of her worldview was all founded on one night of drug-induced delusions.
I mean, frankly, a lot of my thoughts did come from one evening when I was particularly fucked up.
Yeah.
For my part, I believe that Marxist-Leninism and anarchism are both vital structures, differently shaped structures of leftism that will help to bring about world communism.
Yeah.
Right?
The only other particular thing of interest to note is that this isn't really a conversation. This is a lecture from Sophie that Mule just sits there and agrees with. Almost as if Sophie likes to establish dominant roles in relationships. Huh. The next episode, Sophie's here again, you know, dominating the stage. And they're also joined by Thought Slime.
Yeah, how you literally transcend the human form and learn things from the font of creation that no one has ever even touched.
You'll find the secret truth behind every corner and witness the universe at its most beautiful, that kind of things, yeah.
And this is going to be like a communist Joe Rogan episode. And I don't know if I'm going to get through it. Now, I can put up with a lot, but I think we might have to establish a boundary that Mildred is banned from this channel. We're moving on to Professor Flowers, which has many rage bait moments, but nothing too funny. But there is a pattern in DJ Mule's work that I've noticed. The pattern that I want to establish here is DJ Mule starts very much like a female content creator that he views has been slighted by a popular male content creator, which makes him feel the need to correct the record and protect his female friend. In this case, there was a fallout between Professor Flowers and Vaush, and DJ Mule's reaction to that was creating Vaush is not your ally. This was a big video for DJ Mule, getting 30,000 views and the attention of other creators. Watching it back, it's a piece of rubbish with nothing notable to comment on. He makes some pretty unfair claims against Vaush, but it's Vaush, so who really cares? And it is worth noting that Vaush has said the hard R during his content creation career. So despite the fact that Vaush is a short stack goblin horse enthusiast, he still mogs DJ Mule at almost every level. Next up we have Why Dave Rubin Pick Me Gays Suck. And there's a comment here from Genius Revolutionary FD Signifier saying the cringe is strong. And I like to imagine that that is actually a little dig at DJ Mule here.
From marriages between a man and a woman to this in just a few years. It too PragerU.
Marriage is a union between two people. Not very Christian, eh? Jenny's very cool. What a cool person, Jenny.
He reads off so many tweets. This actually could be a Twitter versus Dave Rubin video. So I've changed my mind. Maybe this one's based.
One of the saddest things about people like Dave Rubin is that I don't think they'll ever experience the true joy and happiness that you can get from being part of activism that fights for your community.
I love the way this guy is giving this really heartfelt, deep monologue with drum and bass blaring in the background, wearing a big chain link necklace. And his music taste isn't bad, to be fair, but I wanted to play this MIDI version of Glory Glory Hallelujah for my background, but it would mean every time I cut in it would be like this.
Don't forget to check out some of my more long-form content as well, and then hopefully we can get me to the watch time that I need in order to make my channel monetizable.
Get the watch time up. We need DJ Mule making that AdSense revenue.
But I want to keep this content as ad-free as possible for you lot.
Oh, he doesn't want ads. Then why was he asking for them?
So with that in mind, please don't hesitate to support me on Patreon.
If we look on his Patreon though, you can be a goblin, a possum, an enlightened socialist, and an anti-fascist super soldier, just for giving him a certain amount of money a month. And he's at $200 on his Patreon. Not bad, but this guy's only made 2 videos this year. Why would anyone pay for this? Just on a little aside, the character Sophie from Mars that we've looked at, they have a Patreon, and they also have an Antifa Super Soldier tier 2. But they are making $1,900 a month, and they've released 2 videos this year. They do write some articles for their Patreon. I'm not paying for it, so I can't see how long they are. But they go multiple months at a time doing nothing apart from the Red Planet podcast, which has its own Patreon, and they spend their time on that ebegging.
I'm making no secret that I have been struggling a lot in the last few months, really worried about being able to keep my home, being able to afford my rent, being able to afford HRT and food and bills. So please check out my Patreon or give me money directly through Linktree. Would appreciate either of those. If you want to help me out, I would really appreciate it. Friends are helping me buy groceries and HRT at the moment, and my birthday is also coming up. That would be nice.
And I just want to say, way to go, Sophie. Tricking these people out of their money and getting paid to do absolutely nothing. I've got to respect it. And the people can feel good because you know they're funding her to get another pack of cigarettes, maybe.
And there are 2 creators that I want to shout out for you to go and check out. Go and check out Samantha Lux's video on Blair White.
Oh yeah, who's that?
I don't know if it was like some sort of internalized misogyny that I had or something that was telling me like, no, you need like a boyfriend to do these things with. You can't do them by yourself. That's so weird. That's so cringe.
Nope. And with this video, the oversharing is strong. I can tell you, I regret watching this one. It made me very uncomfortable. I do feel bad for bringing this up, okay? But he does say in this video that it's capitalism's fault for him being when he was young. He also blames capitalism for his videos not doing well.
So remember a couple of weeks ago where in my worst performing video, thank you YouTube algorithm, definitely not controlled by neoliberal capitalism, definitely nothing to do with that.
And in this video, he claims that Twitch is supporting fascism. And what reasoning do you think DJ Mule came up with for that?
But I do just want to point out how capitalism, as it always does, is enabling these fascists to exist within our communities.
And here's that curious little trend again. Mule actually explains that this conversation about how it's hard to be a Twitch streamer with this woman that he really likes came before this video that you can see here. He actually just uploaded them out of order. So the cycle of pain continues, and he makes another awful video to try to help a lady that he thinks is very nice.
So not only are we erasing the word incel, which is an important word to be able to use, by the way, because incels are literally terrorists.
This clip's one I particularly like. And then how did he leave this in?
And using simp as an insult was actually a good move, to be honest, but it kind of has weird connotations as well. Because if we're going to ban the word incel, then what's the point in banning the word simp as an insult? Because if we're banning the word incel, then what kind of good graces do they think they're getting themselves into if they ban the word simp as an insult?
Bro just straight talking. He's actually not a big offender for this. He does tend to craft thoughts and put them out there. I know that's a low bar, but other creators can't seem to do that. In this part, he brings up Vaush again.
Yeah, that's right. White man, Hassan Abbey, and also white man, Ian. That's right, that guy.
But notice he doesn't call him Vaush. He's taken to calling him Ian. And this isn't some petty attempt at doxing or anything like that. It's because him and his friends have figured out that the name Vaush is racist.
And just a side note, from now on, I'm just going to call Vaush Ian. I learned that the name Vaush is a black fascist female character that he invented. And needless to say, I feel really uncomfortable about saying that name now, so we're going with Ian.
The normal human reaction to Vaush should be feeling uncomfortable, so I'll at least give her that. But why do these people care so much about a name? I had a little look to see if I could find anything else about Vaush's origin story, and the only thing I could find was this Reddit post reading, Vaush had a long and well thought out story about a woman named Volkanida and said that the anglicized version of the character's name would be Vaush. I'm not sure if this is a roleplay thing or a fiction that he's written, but if there is any old fantasy media that Vaush has created, I'd love to see it. But back to DJ Mule. Around this time, I don't think he was doing too well, because the ebegging starts to become real.
And of course, as you know, I do like to give people a call to action that isn't just liking and commenting and subscribing and joining my Patreon. Although all that stuff is very, very good and I do need money. Please give me money. Holy shit, I need to survive. It's hard out here. Be cool and nice to each other, and it's fun, and everyone on the panel is hot. Look at us. We are extremely sexy.
But briefly, things are going to start to look up for DJ Mule, because he dropped another hit piece. This time on Xanderhal. If you aren't aware of who Xanderhal is, he is like a pathetic child version of Vaush. Making a hit piece on Xanderhal is like shooting fish in a barrel. But unfortunately for DJ Mule, is he unloaded a full warehouse of clips into the barrel and didn't hit a single shot.
Just grab a nice drink, some snackies, maybe play your favorite Vibby game while you're watching this video, and we're going to get into it.
This is absolutely vile stuff. He spends a long time going after Xanderhal for not being left-wing enough.
We understand that the most important thing to do, especially nowadays, is to organize, create instances of direct action and mutual aid in order to remove dependence on the state, build dual power, and eventually sever all ties with those who claim to govern us. This is the way.
This is the way, Xanderhal. You must say the things that I want you to say, or else you are my enemy, and I will make a hit piece on you. But for real though, unless you're preaching this mutual aid communism stuff, you are the enemy to this guy. He makes this weird claim about Joe Rogan, and then says that he deserves to be deplatformed.
He's a stoner that sits there and goes,
"Hey, you ever seen a chimp pilot a jet on DMT?"
Not funny.
And if he's irresponsible at platforming people, why then should he keep his platform?
And there's the raised eyebrow again. Always a good look. Joe Rogan is a complete idiot, but calling for him to be deplatformed is crazy. If these people got in power, they'd ban like 50% of media. And then he goes on to say this.
I think one of the funniest and most telling things about this video in particular is that Xanderhal is sat there in a Shadow the Hedgehog onesie. You know, Shadow the Hedgehog, the ambivalent, cool, and edgy character from the Sonic the Hedgehog series that doesn't really care about good or evil. He's too cool for that shit. Whilst Xanderhal is sat there being ambivalent and edgy and not really caring about good or evil.
And this is cool. This is cool, okay? Somehow DJ Mule finds the one cool thing that Xanderhal has ever done and uses that in a hit piece against him. Do you want to be Shadow the Hedgehog or do you want to be DJ Mule? Because I know my answer to that.
It's actually cool to be biased against things that are bad. Also, it's one letter away from
Beast.
After the weird, not left-wing enough shaming, he brings up Sophie from Mars, a woman content creator that Mr. Mule here knows and really likes that Xanderhal has been smack talking and he feels the need to set the record straight on. Why does that sound familiar? Hey, I just had an awesome conversation with a woman on my podcast. Maybe if I can do a communist video essay to smite her enemies, she'll know I'm the one. So Mule is friends with Sophie from Mars, who's friends with Thought Slime, who tried to cancel Xanderhal for kicking someone out of his online Guna harem. DJ Mule totally runs with this and tries to frame Xanderhal as the bad guy for sticking up for himself when Xander's the one getting slandered by Sophie in this situation. Maybe I got some of that wrong, who cares? And we've got a new concept to learn. Sanist language.
Xanderhal also uses a sanist term here in the beginning of his video. The word in itself is widely regarded as a word that should never be used in any context. It's the shortening of schizophrenic.
The arbiter of all things moral has now decided you cannot call people schizo anymore. So let's nip that one in the bud, guys. It's making DJ Mule very upset. And here he's going to blame mental illnesses on, you guessed it.
Now, as an ADHD, OCD, and anxiety-having boy and big advocate for mental health awareness, what I like to try and remind people as often as I can is that pretty much everybody has mental health issues. It's kind of part and parcel of living under capitalism.
And then DJ Mule goes on to his next point for why Xander's a bad guy. In this situation, Xanderhal has slighted one of DJ Mule's female friends that he really likes. And DJ Mule feels the need to protect this female friend, and he's gonna set the record straight. This time, it's because Xanderhal has been talking smack on Bad Bunny, aka Kira Chaz. If you don't know who that is, I just made a video about her where you can get a pretty good idea of her character arc throughout her career. In this segment, it turns out Xanderhal didn't really say anything bad about her aside from a little bit of petty shit talking. And that fuels the Mule to go on for ages kissing Bad Bunny's ass. It is truly pathetic.
I've been in hours and hours of Discord calls with her, personal calls, meetings, DMs, and she is one of the sweetest, most lovely people that you could ever meet. I mean, come on, people, you can clearly see that this is absurd and has no basis in reality. It is simply the systematic destruction of a woman on the internet simply because she chose to be outspoken and make political content.
Just to sidetrack again, regarding Bad Bunny, on this episode of the Red Planet podcast, where they talk about DIY HRT with Keffels nonetheless, I found this clip, which is just so incredibly awkward for me.
Advocate for it, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna use she, her.
Right.
Yeah.
That sucks,
but
I get it.
Yeah, it does suck.
Yeah. I just consider toying around with they, them just to see. And I'm like, but I don't know if I have it in me to like fight that fight and like, you know what I mean? So it's,
And regarding the topic of this video, I've got to give props to this commenter saying, well, there's no way this could backfire whatsoever. Back to DJ Mule, and he's criticizing Xanderhal for cutting out his druggy ex-girlfriend that would steal from him regularly. And dear God, this is just the worst hit piece ever. It's worse than I remembered. There are times I think that he is delusional, obviously, and he's fun to laugh at, but maybe he's not a bad guy. At least he thinks that he's coming from a good place doing this.
One thing I've learned from my time as a leftist and doing actual activism out in the real world.
But watching through this video, it starts to dawn on you that this guy is just a complete asshole.
To consider the relationship over the second that your partner does something that you don't like is so weak, dude. Like, you utter waste man.
It's so weak, dude. You utter waste man. Oh. Okay, and this is the best DJ Mule capitalism moment coming up. It's brilliant.
And this next bit, just ew.
Just ew. Oh, God. Okay, it's coming.
She would constantly use my card to order Grubhub and Uber Eats to places she was cleaning for lunch instead of packing some of the fresh food that she had bought that was in our fridge and going bad. She would also constantly leave half-eaten food just sitting on the counter to go bad. She wouldn't even bother just throwing it in the fridge to let it be good for later.
I can't stand people who call themselves leftists and do not understand that people do not want to do reproductive labor. Like, cooking is a whole arse thing, dude. Lots of people get Uber Eats. I'm gonna be getting an Uber Eat after I've recorded this video because I've got no energy to cook. He complains that all the food in the fridge would go bad, and I'm not being funny, man, but like, Xanderhal, have you never been in control of a fridge in your entire life? It happens all the time because unfortunately capitalism doesn't allow us a lot of time to actually address things like that.
I can't cook for myself and food's going moldy in my fridge because of capitalism. DJ Mule, this content creator that was struggling to make ends meet, is spending his money on Uber Eats and weed. This is not the guy that anybody should be taking economic advice from. Okay, screw it. Berserk video. I'm not watching it because I might get spoiled on something that maybe I'll want to read at some point in my life. I don't know. There is a fun Child Logic video where he bullies the guy for not getting any views on it. There's a couple other boring ass, unwatchable videos here. They're rubbish. But in one of them, he begs because he has a cat.
Heading over to patreon.com/DJ Mule, that's DJMUEL, and there are a bunch of different And if you're not bothered about me, then please consider the boy. The boy. Oh, boy, he's a stinking man, a smelly boy. Even though I haven't been making videos about it, I have, as a lot of you probably already know about me, been touching a lot of this stuff.
Stop it, DJ Mule. Stop it. Go and get a job. Get a job. Okay, I've chilled out, and I retract that last statement. I actually really would love Mr. Mule, to come back and make some more video essays. The Red Planet podcast is just too long and boring to watch, and his video essays are incredibly funny. So please, DJ Mule, I reckon 5 more videos and the communist revolution will be ready. You're right there. 5 more videos. You can make one on Destiny. Zionist, he's a bad guy. Good little hit piece for you there. Hassan, he's problematic. Easy content. He's big as well. It's going to get views. Maybe do one on Chud Logic. That guy, smash the fash. He's a bad guy. Trust me, he's a really bad guy. So that would go very well for you if you made just do a hit piece on those 3 months, 3 hit pieces. Communist revolution. Let's do it.
I think one of the funniest and most telling things about this video in particular is that Xanderhal is sat there in a Shadow the Hedgehog onesie. You know, Shadow the Hedgehog, the ambivalent, cool, and edgy character from the Sonic the Hedgehog series that doesn't really care about good or evil. He's too cool for that shit. Whilst Xanderhal is sat there being ambivalent and edgy and not really caring about good or evil. Because he's too cool for that shit.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.